What's up, Tudorinos? Welcome back to the Game Addicts podcast show. We're talking about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I am this podcast player one, Brando, and joining me here today is this podcast player two, Mike.
Hello.
How's it going, good sir?
It's going.
It is pretty hot back here in the game room. I don't know if you can see the glisten. I'm like on my forehead. I got some nice and good sweats going on. We took last week off. So yeah, we did a lot of work, not as much as some, but we, more than what we typically do for E3 this year. We did some more live streaming, for the press conferences and all that jazz. So, we took the week off and, we have a lot to talk about, because of that.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, I got some news flashes. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've added buttons up there to the top, and we are now on iHeartRadio, and we have a SoundCloud. We're not paying for extra stuff on the SoundCloud. I want that to be noted. We're not. I'm not going to do it, not right now. We currently don't make any money off of this. This is just, we do this because we love, we talk about games anyway, so why not just hit the record button while we talk about games? But if we ever do, maybe we will. Maybe we'll support and have, 2 spots, our Podbean hosts, which goes to everybody. And then the SoundCloud guys, because they're really difficult, I'm going to do my very best to remember, as part of the upload thing, to go there and replace the episode that is on SoundCloud with a brand new episode for you guys. So, if you want, if that's how you digest your podcasts and you want to go to SoundCloud and do that, please go look us up. If it's not up around the same time, now here's the thing: I usually set it up to go in schedule. I can't do that. We're on SoundCloud, so I'm gonna try to do my damnedest to try to remember to do it. And so if that's the case, if I can't schedule or do anything like that, it may be on SoundCloud before it's anywhere else, other than live.
Yeah.
But man, how have you been, man? It's been a minute.
No, well, only about 75 minutes.
That's not okay. Now,
yeah, I'm being. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Okay, it's been a minute since we got together. You're doing good. You came over and helped me with my gutters, with one gutter.
Yeah.
And you about killed yourself?
I hurt myself twice. Not once, twice. First time, I understand. Second time was my own stupidity. So. Was
the second time when you tried to run down my hill?
No, I just tried to walk down it after spraining my ankle.
Okay. So, okay. Imagine trying to mow that.
It's hard. Dude, that is like the pottiest whole yard I've ever been in. I will admit that. It literally was just potholes everywhere, and I don't know why, but my brain, the ladder, only the first rung is only like 6 to a foot up. It's very short, 6 inches to a foot, maybe. So I've always skipped the last rung on a ladder. Well, when I did, I stepped into one of said potholes, and your natural reflex, you do not want to try to support your weight onto a bending joint, so you just collapse. And I walked that one off just fine. I was like, oh yeah, we're good. And then as we're leaving, you're carrying the ladder, and I just am talking to you, and I took a step onto the hill, and I thought, this is probably a bad idea. I just hurt my ankle. Literally that moment, I stepped into another hole and jumped and landed on my right leg at the bottom of your hill, cursing up a storm because, well, that one actually hurt my ankle. That's what hurt it. The first one I was fine, but after that hurt.
Well, and okay, so it doesn't make any damn sense to roll my yard. It doesn't. It's like, how, and like, if you try to roll that hill, you're just gonna fall.
Yeah.
I mean, my yard is technically pretty small, and so like I got a little bit of a backyard, I got a little bit of the side, you know, so you can get like a couple passes down the side of my house with a roller to even out the surface. But I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It's not worth it.
No.
It was funny that I did that.
Today we went and saw Spider-Man. Today we went and saw
Spider-Man today.
Yeah.
It was good. We did the IMAX, which I'm going to say it here. That to me is not an IMAX experience. When the first IMAX in Indy opened up, they had a actual IMAX experience, and it pretty much encompassed your entire visual. Well, this is just a 3 to 4 times larger screen at that IMAX here in Lafayette 10 now, right? I think it's Lafayette 10 IMAX.
Lafayette 10 IMAX, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but for me, I definitely don't like it that loud. Those freaking things were so loud that it actually shook the seat and shook stuff out of my pockets. That's cool, like having that impact, but I don't like that.
All right, so back home, in Hoopston, that's where I went to school. There is a single screen theater, it's old school theater with a balcony, right? And you had, just painting the picture for you guys at home, you had instead of rows all the way across, you had like the center section and 2 side sections. It was old school theater, dude. And then up top you had your balcony. And the audio in that place was louder than any theater I've been in, sans like this one. This is the first theater in a long time I've ever been to that ever rivaled that. So for me, that was the movie going experience, going and watching Jurassic Park, Batman Forever, even Terminator 3. You're just getting
right.
It's almost like what's that Philips or Memorex or one of the CDR guys, where the dude's sitting in his chair with his hair blowing all the way back.
Yeah.
That's how I thought the movie theaters should go. So like anytime I went to like a multiplex, it's not going to be as good. I personally like that. I thought the experience was pretty good. Not as good as you said, as the indie experience. But would I do this for every movie anyways? No. It's like a $15 ticket. I wanted to go see this movie. I wanted to go see this movie. So therefore, I do like the MCU. I do like Spider-Man especially, and I really like the first one of this new Spider-Man, and I really wanted to go see it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go check it out. And then if we're gonna go check it out, let's go see a movie that we want to go see, and something that's gonna have some action and something that's gonna like showcase what this thing can do. Because I mean, they were showing Toy Story 4 in it, and I'm like, that's cool, but is that movie really worth seeing it in IMAX for? I don't think so.
Like you said, to me that wasn't really an IMAX. It was just an extra large theater, or theater screen. But the seating was massive. They had a lot of. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't a really bad experience. It's just for a movie like that, I would not personally. I would not spend that kind of money on it.
Yeah. Every once in a while, that's kind of what I'm going to view it as. If there's a movie I'm really excited to go see, like I'll probably do it for Star Wars, because I want to have that big loud experience for Star Wars. But
yeah, that's something that I will definitely watch, and that just because it's freaking Star Wars. I'll probably see Star Wars at least 3 times minimum.
I think I saw Last Jedi twice, so
I think I saw it 3.
3?
And then I saw the last one 3 times in theater as well. The Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens. I wish I would have saw that one in theaters.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well,
but we have pickups. I told you that I was going to do pickups. I told you.
Oh, yeah, you do have pickups.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, well, by all means, grace us with these awesome
Okay,
pickups of yours.
so I already know the response that I'm going to get, which is fine. Finally picked up the new God of War, and I have made it pretty far in. At this point, spoilers don't matter. It's been out long enough. If you were gonna care to be spoiled, well, guess what, buddy? You're a couple year late. Um, I'm at the point where Atreus realizes that he's a god or the son of a god, and yeah, it's kind of funny. Um, I have difficulty viewing the main character Kratos as Kratos. I view him as Teal'c. So that's just me personally. That's my favorite one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And every time the guy turns around, Kratos turns around, I feel like I'm going to see a black guy with a serpent symbol. But it's very good. I have thoroughly enjoyed the story of it. It is very well done.
It's so different.
There's It's very different. It felt very different, but it felt the same.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job. It is a lot better than the last iteration into that series.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like it's as button mashy or just doing the same things over and over because there's so many different things that you can do now.
Right.
You know, you could switch your weapons up. You can go no hand. You could do combos with Atreus. Now, there's something that's really cool that I really liked about the idea of using an AI character or as like a side thing, and it's like you kind of just give him orders.
Right.
At the beginning of the game, he's listening to you and doing all this stuff. Now, when he does this stuff, he's going to stop listening to you, and he's going to be doing stuff on his own. So now he doesn't respond to your commands, and then there's going to be a spot where you kind of humble him, and then he won't do a damn thing. He's running.
See, he's already been humbled once, and not like hardcore, but enough. But obviously, that was before the god. But other than that, it's a really good game. Now, the other game I picked up, I've been playing, and I have played quite a bit into this game so far, and it's awesome. But it also really makes me want to go back and play some old school games. Super Mario Maker 2. It's phenomenal. It is. It's a lot of fun. I've created 2 courses so far. They were just crappy courses that I threw together. But outside of that, I've played probably 100 courses made by other people. It hasn't been out very long, so can't expect a ton of stuff out for it. But out of that, I probably play. So depending on the levels, I usually get 3 or 4 to 20 user-made ones. I've almost finished the story mode, which is just building the castle up. But yeah, it's cool. You can actually now, as you're playing through a level, you can add tools into the middle of the level if you can't beat it. So yeah, like there was one where it had you as Yoshi and you had to get a stone. So now they have stone blocks and you have to carry the stone. Well, it reduces you by probably 85% mobility. And if you use Yoshi, you get 100%. Well, they had a part where it had the 3 musical notes to bounce up, where you couldn't bounce Yoshi all the way up with the block, and you couldn't spit it up. And I tried to bounce with it up and throw it up. It wouldn't let me throw it up. So I got mad enough where I was like, I haven't used the tool thing, so let's just try it. And I just built a little walkway and doot, doot, done. I was like, wow, it was really easy. But outside of that, I really enjoy it. A lot of the music has been recomposed. So a lot of it is the original music, but recomposed to different style.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of really cool stuff. A lot of people have built some really neat stuff. Obviously, the creators of the game did a really good job with their levels. I just did one with the 8-bit do controller that I just got properly working today, where it was lava, but it wasn't lava. It was like you were in a galaxy back. It looked like Super Mario Galaxy background, and then it had lava, but the lava wasn't lava. It was like galactic goo. I don't know what to explain. It was just like purple, and you were going down the level, and you were just having to bounce off the wall so that you wouldn't fall all the way down into the lava or whatever it is. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, but like when you do Super Mario World, it will do the when you complete the level, it doesn't do the dunk like he does the thing, but it doesn't do the and zoom the like fade to black on the Mario. So every time it does that, I always do the thing and because it makes, and then I'm sitting there going, man, I really want to play Super Mario World now. And then more Mario 3. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. A lot of the stuff is really neat. A lot of the stuff can now be used. You can actually have doors in Mario 1.
Ooh.
So they have doors, locked doors and stuff. And they have a new system where you get key fragments. And then that will give you the key so you can move through. It's really neat. I really, really enjoy it so far. It's one of those things you can just get mindlessly lost in. And it's Mario. I mean, we grew up with Mario, so we love Mario.
Absolutely, dude. I'm excited to play it. I enjoyed the first one. I introduced you to the first one. You came over. We had we had a cookout, and we had a lot of fun just sitting there digging around with it, playing it, and it was a good time. And I can't wait to play this one. I don't know when that is. I'll probably play yours at some point. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
I also got mine with the 12-month download.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Get your free link your Twitch Prime and Amazon Prime. Get that, link it, and then get your free year for that, because then that'll stack and you'll have 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do
when
today.
we get done with this, I'll help you do that. I do have 2 pickups, but they're not gaming related, and I've shown vinyl on here before. Of course, I do collect music and do stuff like that. So I bought this a couple months ago. It finally got here last week. You've already seen it in person.
Yes, I have.
But I'm gonna get it. I'll be right back.
You go get it. You go get it. But anyways, what he's about ready to show us, or you guys, is the iced earth that he picked up, and it has really cool.
I really wish I would have remembered
art.
And just set these out. But I finally got the game room.
Can't hear me.
Of course, if you're watching this, it's a completely different view. I haven't even mentioned that. Of course, you now can see like the door to go out, the closet, the door to go outside, one of my gaming bookshelves, and then over here, good old Red 13 and the Wii U gamepad and Vita. But I got rid of that damn futon, and I have the room.
That goddamn futon.
So hopefully, I'll have a lot more room for that damn green screen for when I want to use it. But so I got the 2 reissues of Demons and Wizards. Now this is the self-titled. Demons and Wizards is a side project from the main guy, John Schaefer from Iced Earth. He's the songwriter, guitarist, and then the lead singer and lyricist of Blind Guardian. And these are 2 big bands. These are 2 friends coming together to make some music. This was originally released in 2000, and they are coming together. They're on tour right now. Hit my mic. For the first time in forevers. And I will be seeing them live in August. I'm pretty stoked. And so their original albums didn't come out on vinyl proper. What I mean by that is that they were just picture discs. And I think I've shown one of them maybe here on the podcast. Maybe. I don't know if I did. I know it probably went up on my personal Instagram. But you can get them in normal black. Of course, picture discs are cool to look at, but they're not cool to listen to. Because after a couple plays, they just deteriorate so bad. So this one, the first one, color scheme, is a green. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's like a green smoke. Kind of difficult to see with all the lights and the reflections. And then there.
Shine your flashlight for your phone through the back of it, and you'll be able to
Ooh.
see it.
Yeah, you right. Look at Mike. Mike's on this shit.
Some days I'm on, most days I'm off. Just
I don't know how good.
hold it back further. Hold your light back further. It's too bright. It's just giving it a shine off.
Oh well, we tried.
It was worth a shot, but I can see it, so they can see it.
Yeah, the etching is going to be difficult to see on stream because side D of both vinyls have. You're not going to be able to see it.
I can see it. Right there, you can see the shimmer of the demons and wizards.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, wait, kind of. It's difficult to. It shows up difficult on these on the smoke vinyl, and that's because it's partially see through. It's going to show up better on the pure black vinyl, you know.
Yeah.
Then the second one is their second album, Touched by the Crimson King. This has brand new artwork because they were both kind of unsatisfied with the original artwork. It was kind of rushed. And this one is same dealio, but also some of the artwork in here was actually added to it. So each song, you know, not each song, but a lot of the songs have new artwork drawn for the songs, which is badass for a song like Beneath These Waves, which is about Moby Dick. and one of the better songs on the record, in my opinion. It's an awesome song. Now has its own artwork to go along with it. But this red, I love how like deep and crimson that red is. It's difficult to see some of the black that kind of shines through. Oh, there you go. You can see it a little bit. And look, there's Spider-Man back there.
Yeah?
But it's got etching.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's got some etching on it, too. There.
You can really see the red. The red looks good.
But I just put since I made some, you know, I've had to clean the game room. Mike was in it when it was still in progress. It is now cleaned. I got the old entertainment center back in here. It's funny because I put the damn Xbox light on it, but I didn't realize I put the light upside down.
Yeah.
So I've got to get that fixed. But I've got like the Wii U set up. I've got the Genesis set up. I've got the NES set up. I've got all my old school stuff set up and ready to go. I've got the PS3 and 360 set up over there, PS4 and Xbox One over here to stream for when that's going to happen. And I can now play my record. I listened to the whole side A of the first Demons and Wizards record. And as I was back here today, kind of getting ready for the show today. So those are my pickups. Along with those, I also got the CD versions too. I got a cool bundle. But what do you say we get into some actual news? Because I've got a really interesting one to start the day off. Because it's not news, it's just interesting.
Okay. Well, let's see what you got.
So, look at this old guy here. That's Big Boss. Good old Big Boss, Metal Gear Solid. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, Metal Gear is an American intelligence project. Now, Mike, I understand we've been having some connection issues, and hopefully I don't,
You cut it out. Try again. Go back 4 seconds. Mike, I understand blank.
That I've been cutting out.
I have a solution, and I took a screenshot, and I'm trying to send it to you so that you can see it, because you can do it while we're live, but it's not showing me screenshot.
Well, because what I can do is I can actually go over to this, because we are trying a new record thing here today, folks, like a new way, and I'm actually going to change windows. And I'm actually...
You don't have to do that. I got it right here.
Oh, well, son of a gun. What the hell are you doing?
I'm slow. Shut up.
Because I was just going to share my second screen. That way you could see the articles that I had. What were you going to do?
That. I sent it to you.
My gosh. This is... You want me to...
It's a novel, yes. It's a novel, yes. I tried to just do a screenshot, but this is it. And that should fix. Basically, Discord tries to auto-correct everything and automatically adjust everything for you.
Uh-huh.
And it's saying if you do this, basically it's forcing you, if you're input is too high, it'll clip, and instead of registering like Hangouts does, it will clip it out, and then it'll completely remove that whole segment of speech.
Okay, so then user settings, cog in the bottom area. Go to the voice tab, which, okay, I'm here. Automatically input sensitivity.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. And then and then that's it. Or no, just speak into it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Should be good.
If your voice is orange, it's not sending your voice through Discord. Well, my voice is like always in the damn orange. All right. So, what about here? What about here? What about here?
It sounds better you're not cutting out.
What about right here?
I think that it needs to be almost all green.
Well, then there we go. How about that? Does that sound good?
Yeah. We'll just see through the stream how it works. Sorry, guys. We're middle of this changing stuff, but hey, it's all for improvement.
All for improvement. Well, because we've been going through Hangouts, and we can go through Skype, but Skype sucks, man. Skype's quality dips so bad, and so we're trying out Discord for the first time today. So back on it. Am I coming in pretty good?
No, you're doing perfect. It's beautiful.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to do the same thing after we're done, but I'm trying to stay low.
All right, so the Russian Defense Ministry says Metal Gear is an American intelligence project. Andrei Kartopolov, hopefully I said that right.
Nice name, pal.
The Russian deputy defense minister pointed out that popular video game series such as Metal Gear are projects by U.S. intelligence service with aim to manipulate public conscience, especially among young people. On the internet.
So basically, are they trying to say that there are nuclear facility, like mechanized nuclear facilities moving around that can literally wipe out because that's been there for a while? Just saying, subs have been around forever.
But Metal Gear, they walk on the ground, and they are bipedal, and they can go anywhere, including on mountains.
Yeah.
All right. So, quote.
But we have nuclear subs that can launch halfway across the world.
Don't you talk bad about my bipedal robots. This is Japanese anime we're talking about here.
I'm sorry.
So, on the internet.
I'm sorry.
Projects.
On the net.
Projects of the American Special Services, such as Metal Gear and Runet Echo, are being implemented aimed at direct manipulation of public consciousness, especially young people, he said. He further pointed out that such projects are designed to encourage active protest activity and also stir up young people with feelings of anti-authority. Where this theory comes from is unclear, but clearly the Russian government knows something that the rest of us don't. As you may know, Metal Gear didn't even originate from the United States. In fact, it came from Japan.
Yeah. So to add to that, yeah, I lost it. Now I had something really good, but you kept going, and now I was going to say that definitely was the case with Chernobyl.
So it definitely, as with Chernobyl, they were so worried about their public conscience and what other people thought about them as a government and as a country that they put false information out there, and it almost seems like we're getting back to that to some degree. That they,
I remember. Actually, Russia, you know more about how our president became president than we do.
Ooh,
low blow. Low blow. That's a low blow. I can't help it.
Maybe this was a Metal Gear mission all along, and maybe Trump is one of the patriots.
God, I hope not. I really hope not.
Now the article continues. As you may know, the first few games of the series are kind of anti-United States military to an extent, at least. Furthermore, while the series does get political here and there, it's critical of governments and their military branches in general. It's never really specific. In Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, power in the U.S. government has been usurped by a rogue group called the Patriots, who are trying to use AI to manipulate the public. So to say it may stir up anti-authority in government and those that play it isn't too much of a stretch. But then again, where and how did the U.S. government get involved in its creation? Anyway, there you have it, folks. Kojima's been brainwashing you for years, so watch out for Death Stranding. Oh, dude.
I mean, it showed pictures of World War II in it, so just saying, maybe he's saying that the U.S. are devils and we're after the Russian intelligence. And who knows? Some of the stuff is just so far-fetched. It's almost insane to believe that somebody believes it.
Okay, so when you look at it, like Metal Gear Solid, over the years, has gotten more westernized for the kind of game that is. Like the Metal Gear Solid 5, like the picture I'm showing on stream, is the most westernized version of that game you'll ever play. It, the earlier stuff in the series, like they really focused on what like North American gamers are liking and are popular with them, with action games, to sort of replicate that without sacrificing what makes Metal Gear Metal Gear. They don't want to make Metal Gear Solid 5 into a Call of Duty shoot 'em up, first person shooter. It's got to be that, third person stealth action shooter. It's got to be a multiple genre bending thing. But I think this really shows ignorance. From like he's trying to make a point, and like he's saying that the U.S. military or U.S. government has sanctioned this game or got involved with the creation of this game. Like, I guarantee you, Kojima would have loved that. He would have loved government.
He'd been all about that. Give me some of them. Give me some stuff to wrap some conspiracy theories around. I mean, that's what he's good at. He's a mind fucker. That's what he does. So anything you give him, he's going to use as ammunition. So he would have took anything that the government would have gave him.
Absolutely. So I remember watching behind the scenes, and like when they were creating Metal Gear Solid 2 and they were trying to make it more realistic, because the first game, it was just like you running into a room and you could kill everybody in the room and their bodies disappeared and all that stuff is, still very video gamey. But when you entered a room and you were, having been caught, they would send people to look for you in groups, and they would actually clear the room like you would in that situation. And they would actually go through and they studied the clearing tactics and everything about people covering certain corners of the room and everything. They went through and they actually studied that. Now, are you telling me that Kojima would not love for the U.S. government to be like, hey, how about this? How about a little bit of this? Maybe I'll give you some of this information. Now, Kojima doesn't like people getting involved with this stuff. So he's not going to change his view of what's what. But there's a couple of games in this series, like 3. Well, 2 does involve a Russian group. 3 does take place, in the Soviet Union. And then 5 does involve some of the Russians because of the whole. A lot of it takes place in Afghanistan during the 80s.
Yeah.
Russia was there, so whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, whatever. People think too deep.
Oh, dude. All I can say is, you got us. Sorry.
Right? Not like every freaking country doesn't have freaking spies everywhere. Like, literally everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I ain't too worried about it. Whatever.
So this next story I want to talk about is this story sucks. We talked about this.
It's Activision. I mean,
yeah.
It's just, I mean, you look at it this way, for what we're getting ready to say. The same thing kind of happened with Disney when they took over Sony Pictures.
Sony?
Or not Sony. I'm
Fox.
Sorry. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They laid off a bunch of people. But the way that Activision went about it is really shitty. So go ahead and read the said article, sir.
So we discussed this, when was it? Like back in February, maybe January, right at the beginning of the year.
When they laid off the 250 people for tech support for, I believe it was Overwatch.
It was more than that. I'll read the article. This article comes from labor411.org. The labor movement is calling out Activision CEO for obscene compensation as the company lays off workers. The AFL-CIO Secretary-Treasurer Liz Shuler is calling on the SEC to take action on corporate executives who abuse stock buybacks for their own personal gain. The AFL-CIO's, the nation's largest federation of unions, has taken aim at Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick and his annual compensation in the 2018 following a massive round of layoffs this year, which saw nearly 800 employees lose their job.
Yeah, I just know about the 250 for the online for Overwatch and their online stuff.
To continue, Liz Shuler, in a statement published on Tuesday, this was on June 26th, so around that time. This is about a week ago. Where was I at? Okay. That the Activision Blizzard CEO, Kotick, his financial compensation in 2018, which was $30.8 million, a majority of which came from stock options, $19 million, saying this is like legal highway robbery. Activision Blizzard has called 2019 a transition year. Net revenue for the first quarter was down to $1.83 billion compared to $1.97 billion for the same period in 2018. And in January, announced a stock buyback program that would authorize the company to purchase $1.5 billion worth of stock ahead of cutting 750 jobs in February. In May of 2018, the company made an aggregate cash dividend payment of $259 million to shareholders of record at the close of business on March 30th, 2018, according to SEC filing. Shuler claims that such stock buybacks and payments help C-suite execs artificially meet their incentive pay targets. She calls on the SEC to take action on corporate executives who abuse stock buybacks for personal gain. Pretty much, dude. Now, we know this takes place in many other corporations, but this is like, okay, so Activision Blizzard is one of the biggest gaming companies out there, next to EA and then Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo. They're all up there together in that top echelon, right?
Yep.
And then 800 people lose their jobs, and this guy.
But you also, if you read that, when you read through that article, you said that they're talking about hiring 750 more people.
Hold on.
In 2019, this year, I believe is what you said. I may have misheard you. You're not cutting in and out, but that's what I heard.
I'm trying to find that number again. Oh, and the company authorized the company to purchase $1.8 billion worth of stock ahead of cutting 750 jobs in February. So
they're gonna do more.
No. This is from earlier in the year. This is them reporting on it. Back then, when we talked about it, and they cut nearly 800 jobs, they authorized people in the company to be able to do stock buybacks, which let this guy make like $30 million. Put that in his pocket.
That's ridiculous. I misheard you then.
Yeah, this stuff is BS, man. This stuff is absolutely ridiculous. And it happens, as I said, it happens in a lot of different industries, and this shows you what corporate greed is. Because it gets to a point where in any company, when you're a publicly traded company, if you don't make as much money as you did last year, that's a problem. It doesn't matter the reason, ultimately.
And that's such a horrible thing, because think about it. Let's say Square right now. Square, just Square, because they've got some big title coming out. A big title coming out. They will not, in my opinion, make as much next year, where there will be no Final Fantasy VII whatever 2 or 4, whatever is the next iteration that they're going to call it, won't come out. So you're looking at they're going to just completely sweep this year. They're going to have a ton of money at the end of the quarter. I just, to say that the next year they need to make that much. I mean, you're talking about one of the most beloved RPGs of all time. I just throwing it out there as one of the biggest RPGs of all time. And you're going to say, well, next year we need to do better. How are you going to do better?
I think some of it also, and I'm not an economist. I'm not a guy that knows corporate anything. I'm just a gamer like you. Okay? Just like all of you listening, I'm just a gamer. I don't know any of this crap. So if somebody knows more about this, please enlighten us. But I do believe that they have certain projections, and when they don't meet those projections, that's when there's a really big issue.
Right, and the projections and stuff are understandable. That's one thing. But what you just said is that if you don't make as much as you made last year, then you're failing. And to say that, I mean, you've got like Nintendo. Let's say whenever the Switch came out, and they start putting out, Mario Odyssey and Zelda. I mean, those are your 2 big titles.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn around, and then the next year that year I think they had Splatoon 2 as well. And then the next year, which would be this year, was Smash. What else big came out on the Switch?
We had a Kirby game. We had we've had a couple of Wii U ports.
But nothing new. I'm looking for new.
Brand new.
Mario Party.
Mario Party came out. It didn't do gangbusters, but it still sold. Not as well as
Smash. Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Or Pokemon Let's Go.
Let's Go. And then, of course, this year in November, it'll be, Sword and Shield. But
I mean, you look at this year for Nintendo. I mean, what are you going to drop? One of your biggest IPs of all time ever.
Mm-hmm. And it's like such a level up from where you've been before, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, the open world scene has become massive, and now you're throwing, one of your largest turn-based games of all time into a open world / still turn-based. So you're accommodating both fields here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
it looks, Nintendo's got stuff going right. People keep saying, oh, they're behind. Are they though? Because they literally have created a console that I can take with me, put on my TV. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
it really is.
Like they they're doing good, and they don't have to overexert by any stretch of the imagination. There's something that I didn't pull up today that I wanted to talk to you about the PS5, about how apparently through a leak it has been benchmarked, and it benchmarked pretty impressively compared to some of the graphics cards that's out already.
I'm a little upset. Today, some things got put out the second, and I'm very upset. New graphics cards, they call them supers. For those that don't follow or do follow, whatever, I bought a 2060 RTX graphics card, about $400. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they just announced and released a 2060 Super that is significantly boosted and same price. It's a little upsetting. But for what I do, it doesn't matter. I mean, it works exactly the way I need it to for exactly what I need. It just sucks that if I could have waited, 8-9 months, I would have a better graphics card. But life goes on. They'll come out with new ones.
All right, so I very quickly pulled this up. This came out on July 1st, just a few days ago. The PlayStation 5 console is yet to be officially unveiled, but thanks to a leak, that we now could know its benchmark. A leaker, Tum Apisak, who is well known in the PC community for leaking PC parts codes and benchmarks, recently revealed that the first PS5 Firestrike benchmark has seemingly surfaced. The benchmark scored a Gonzalo APU which is rumored to be the PlayStation 5's SoC. According to the benchmark numbers, the PS5 is going to be 4 times more powerful than the base PlayStation 4 and will offer better performance than NVIDIA GTX 1080 GPU, which is impressive for a console.
It is really good. That's $800. That's basically $800 GPU right now.
Yeah. As things have yet to be finalized, the Gonzalo APU is still in development, so things may be different in the final console. Still, things are looking extremely good for PlayStation 5. Last month, several statements regarding the PlayStation 5 started to go around. And the processing power of the PlayStation 5 is incredible, so when we try to think of new gameplay that will utilize its full potential, I'm not really sure of which aspects of existing mechanics we should translate. First, there was a time when graphics improved, and then there was network features, and now I guess you can say it's a return to the programmable era. I think artificial intelligence and machine learning will continue to be evolved. So yeah,
I mean, if it's, we'll see what's coming. AMD is on the verge of releasing their new GPU and processors. So, and that is rumored what is in the new 5 and Scarlet, whatever they're going to name the Xbox. So I hope it's that good. I mean, if we're pushing 4 times, that's awesome.
yeah,
That also increases the longevity of that era of gaming, that generation. So this might be like a 360 style era in PS3 era where we get 8 to 10 years. I mean, that would be awesome for us gamers because we would reduce the amount we have to buy.
right.
And that's why I like Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo's still throwing out a good console for $300.
Absolutely.
Now their next one, hopefully is more powerful. I mean, that's what we always go through. You improve on what you have. But I'm hoping that if Nintendo continuously keeps that $300, but bumps it up a little bit into maybe giving us a better dock that will allow us to maybe go to 2K resolution, that would be great. But
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with what they got. Yeah, I'm satisfied with it, what everything's got. I am moving to PC just for the fact of I like PC better. I always have. But anywho.
Yeah, I'm very, very surprised by how much they've been able to push out for a console. Even the games that are coming out right now on the consoles are looking really damn good. And you do have to spend quite a bit for a PC to get out better performance. So there is that.
You do and you don't. You can budget it in and take your time and buy it part by part. But in the grand scheme of things, $400 is a lot better than what I've got. I'm not going to say how much I've got. I've got a lot. Let's just say I've got a lot, and it is continuously going up because I have an addiction. If I could make that my job, I would.
Mm-hmm. So a quick blurb about Shenmue 3. We talked about this. I think we talked about it. Do you remember this? It's now exclusive to Epic Game Store, right? Only it went into Kickstarter where people could pre-order it for Steam. Kind of a little bit of a BS move there. A lot of people cried foul over that, and they were like, looks like refunds aren't coming. But apparently, Epic Game Store has come under a lot of fire in recent months. Of course, getting exclusive and all that kind of stuff. They did post an update talking about from the EaseNet. Of course, that's the publisher of or developer of Shenmue 3. With a few options looking to get out of the Epic Game Store exclusivity, and we'll be able to, while devs had initially planned to release the game on Steam, there is no longer the case until after a year following its launch. In other words, Epic Game Store bought it. Now, I'll share my thoughts about that in a minute. Of course, most of you who listen to the show know my thoughts. Fans who pledged to receive the game on PC can now choose to get a physical copy that comes with the Epic Game Store key. Or just the key, or they could switch to the PS4 version. It's also noted that if none of these options are preferred, refunds will be honored. That's when Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney stepped in to inform everyone that Epic will cover all the refunds so that NetEase doesn't have to take that hit. In addition to this, Sweeney also mentioned that the same will go for any future instances when crowdfunded games become exclusive to the Epic Game Store. So this is the mixed bag. Because obviously it's good that Epic Game Store is going to do this for all those that are really upset and don't want to go to the Epic Game Store. They want to play their games on Steam and they can get their refunds. But I still believe this game launched on Kickstarter 2015. People backed it. That should be the end of the story.
I mean, they backed it in 8 hours. Like, it was fully funded, fully maxed out in 8 hours.
There's no reason.
So,
okay, so you already announced it for Steam, day one. You shouldn't be exclusive to Epic Game Store.
You should have stuck to.
You could put it on there.
I agree.
Put it on there, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. More places that the game is, the more that's going to go in your pocket. But come on, you've already have these people who bought it and wanted that, and now. It's like what happened with Metro, and they changed it within a few weeks. Now, not the developers, publisher. That's bullshit. No, shouldn't happen. And then you have with Outer Worlds, they announced it months in advance. That way, in Borderlands, you know where you're going to get that game. If you don't like it, that it's on the Epic Game Store, you want to play it on PC, you're kind of SOL for a year.
Yep.
Or you either bite the bullet and play it on there. You don't support it, that's an option. You vote with your wallet, or you could play it on a console if you have one.
There's a lot of options. I agree with the ability to go where you want to go, but I disagree with announcing one and doing another.
Yes, exactly.
I believe that maybe Epic Game Store. I know Epic Game Store is really trying to put that stamp, like, "Hey, we're just as good as Steam. Come to us." That's great. I will never argue with competition when it comes to this stuff because it just pushes each one to be better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the console wars back in the day. What if we didn't have those?
Right. Yeah. No.
What would happen what if it was only owned by Nintendo and Nintendo did not have to worry about anything? Yes, Nintendo does their own thing, but in the back of their mind, they're still trying to compete. They want you to buy their stuff.
Exactly. Well,
so that's why the Switch is such a big turnaround for them because they're really focusing on third party. We want to make sure that everybody can get in, everybody can make, everything's nice and smooth for everybody. But you got to watch switching stuff around on people because I would be upset.
Yeah.
I personally would be upset that I had to move my stuff around, but I wouldn't be that upset as long as the developer is getting more money. That's really what it boils down to. Is as long as the developer's fine with it, but don't, like you said, do not announce, "Hey, exclusive on Steam." 2 years later, nah, it's not it. We're gonna just go ahead and put it on Epic Game Store, and then all you guys that did that, sorry, you're screwed. It's like, no.
Yeah, no.
That's not right.
No.
That's not right at all.
Honor those guys.
Honor them. It should be honored. It should be, hey, you have the option. Do you want it? No? Okay, well, here's your money back. You want it on anything else? No. Oh, okay. Or a really good thing is don't really give them their money back. Just give them in-store credit. I don't agree with that, but
they're doing the right thing. They're really doing
the right thing
to make things better. The only issue with this is that it never should have happened to begin with. It never should have been exclusive to the Epic Game Store after it had long been announced for Steam. No. I understand it's a better thing now because it gets, as you said, more money in Deep Silver and these Nest pockets, right? That's good for them. But it's too late, in my opinion. You've already got people pre-ordered.
I think that it should be, okay, I think that there should be a little bit more compromise. I think that it should be, hey, we know you wanted it on Steam. We know you pre-ordered on Steam. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to honor that. And we're going to give you a $5 credit, $10 credit to the Steam store. Or not Steam store, to the Epic Game Store. If you do something like that, let's say a lot of those people that want $60, yeah, you'll have to pay everyone $5, but you could potentially keep a lot of people. They're saying, well, they're trying to make right by it. Like they see that there was a mistake. They're trying to, make it better for us. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could go about this. I think they went the wrong route, but
I think they're going the right way to make it better, but it never should have happened. And what's really bugging me about it is that this is the second time. It's not just that, this is the second big game to go exclusive. The Metro thing happened last minute. This game was supposed to come out in August. It got pushed back. So thankfully it's not last minute, but this game was pre-ordered. Just like Metro was pre-ordered on Steam.
Yep. I know a lot of people are kind of a little upset about Borderlands 3.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some people who are refusing to play it because of that. And I think it's still going to do well. I think it's going to do fine.
Still going to do well. But I don't know. I mean, people are just so negative towards the Epic Game Store, and they've really, they've messed up, but they're brand new. I mean, they're the new boys on the block. They're not Steam. They're not ever going to be Steam. They're going to make it to where it's going to be very close to Steam. Your experience is going to be close. You got to give them time to grow.
I think they're making it worse for themselves. I'll be honest with you, because you're making people angry and going to make them not want to come to your place of business to shop.
But you've got to it's just like they're thinking about it just like PlayStation and Xbox. Grab some exclusives, bring people over. That is not a bad thing.
No.
The problem is that gamers are so stuck on Steam, but they don't realize that Steam until recently was royally screwing your people over. Yeah, a new game is $60, but they're only seeing 25 of it for the first million copies. Then 45.
Yeah.
You got to understand that, yes, Steam has this stuff, and they've had the cornerstone for a long time. But they're helping. This group is helping the developers. They definitely are not doing well by turning stuff around weeks before it's a release. That's not a good thing. And that really falls on the publisher. Should acknowledge, hey, we should honor Steam, but we'll put it on a Epic Game Store as well.
Yeah.
But moving forward, you should get new games like Borderlands 3.
New games going exclusive, I have no bother with that. When you announce it and you say we're going to be exclusive there, that's fine. I have no qualms with that. And anybody who's bitching about it, that's their deal. That's something that they're going to have to get used to, because those of us in the console generations who've been dealing with that forever, that's the way it goes. That's just the way it be. And so my big thing on my shoulder about it is the chip on my shoulder, I should say, is when you do this kind of stuff like Metro, like Shenmue, where you've already got people invested money, you've already got people pre-ordered, you shouldn't be doing that. At that point, the next game, the next one, strike a deal. The next game that you do, Shenmue 4, Metro, whatever it's going to be, even whatever that next one is, put the Shenmue 3, put Metro Exodus on the Epic Game Store to give the people who are already there a flavor of what you guys can bring to the table, and then the next one, make that one exclusive.
Just for those that haven't played Metro Exodus yet, it's available on Game Pass.
Absolutely, and that is a really good...
Right now is a fantastic deal. I do not know if that is available on PC.
Well, we're going to find out, because
I can actually check right now.
Because guess what? That is actually our very next topic is Xbox Game Pass. You're getting really good at this whole segue thing, man.
And I don't even know how you're wanting to run stuff. So.
All right, so we have announcement, 8 more games coming to Game Pass, and we actually have it listed for what games are for PC and what games are for console or both.
Ooh.
So, coming soon, Dead Rising 4, coming to both console and PC. Shadow of War, the sequel.
Which is a fun game.
Yeah. Shadow of War, the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, coming to both. We have Blazing Chrome, coming to both. And then we have My Time at Porsche, coming to both. Then, just for PC, we have Time Spinner. We have Unavowed, also coming to just PC. Undertale, coming to just PC. That's a great game. If you haven't played that game, that's an awesome game. And then coming to just console, Lego City Undercover, which is like Lego Grand Theft Auto. And all of those are coming up within the next little while, as in like Shadow of War, My Time at Portia, and Undertale are coming out tomorrow on the 4th of July, as we record this. So today, if you're listening to this on day of release. And then on the following week, on the 11th, the rest of them will hit. So not a bad little group of games. And then, of course, what is this? The other titles will be leaving. Okay, so here's what's leaving. And these will be leaving soon. Aftercharge, Warhammer, Vermintide 2, Lego Movie, the video game, Dandara, Dead Rising 2, Hitman Season 1, Metal Slug, XX, Defense Grid, The Awakening, Hexic 2, and Iron Brigade will all be leaving throughout the month of July. So please hit up with that. And then for a very limited time, you can get it. Jump on it. Go look. You can still get Game Pass Ultimate for $1. I think that ends in just a day or so.
I got to do that. I haven't done it yet. To add to what you're talking about, available as of June 20th, Resident Evil, Revelations 2, and Rare Replay.
Ah, yeah. Check out Rare Replay. There's so many great games with that.
And then there also was Torment and Goat Simulator. Goat Simulator is a great game. Got to check it out. Best game there is. But yeah, I mean, Xbox really stepping it up.
All right, so
they're doing a good job.
Absolutely. Up next, we have the Games of Gold versus PlayStation Plus.
Oh yeah. Who? Where? Ha? What games are good for?
Xbox One for the month of July, from July 1st to the 31st, you get a game called Inside, and then from the this kind of they break it up to kind of first half, second half kind of thing. A Big Crown Sundown or Big Crown Showdown, July 16th through August 15th. Then for the 360, you have from July 16th to July 31st, Meet the Robinsons, which is that Disney. This is the best one of the list for the whole month. No, just for the first half of July, July 1st to the 15th. Snag this one up if you got gold. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, there you go.
Get that one. That one's a classic. And then over on PlayStation Plus, this was we had a little bit of a switcheroo, and originally it was going to be a game called Horizon Turbo and Pro Evolution Soccer 2019, but Pro Evolution Soccer got pulled and has now been replaced with Detroit Become Human, which was Quantic Dream. That was the name of the. Before we started, I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, Quantic Dream
of the developer, Quantic Dream. I haven't finished it. It's an awesome game. Great storytellers. Go pick that up if you got Plus. We always try to say who's got the better one. I think Plus does just with Detroit. But then again, that great oldie, man, that Symphony of the Night is one of the greatest games of all time. So,
yeah.
I mean, just recently, the Bloodstained just got released, and that people are raving about it. The Switch version, I guess, is kind of broken. Doesn't really run very well, and they are talking about fixing it. But speaking of the Switch, have you heard about the leak of the Switch Mini?
I have heard. But I don't know how I feel about that.
All right, so check us out. From a couple days ago, the Switch Mini potentially outed by leaked accessory. So third party people get to make some of their stuff, before the stuff comes out. So they get stuff and they get information. They have NDAs; they can't speak anything. But this got leaked out, and we have what is a gel case or a thing to go around the Switch Mini, which could give us a hint for what it looks like. Kind of looks like a Vita kind of shape. Of course,
I know, yeah.
You have your sticks right here. You have your D-pad right here, or it could actually go the other way. But there, people are really looking at it, and everyone's talking about it except Nintendo. So it's pretty interesting. I'm going to show it on
That's
camera.
kind of how that goes, though.
This was another. Hold on, it's too bright. Here it is. And it looks like the Joy-Cons don't separate. This thing is only playable in handheld mode. This is as we've talked about, potentially the 3DS replacement for that market. Mm-hmm. For the Switch being able to do both. This is only for that. This will be probably a little bit cheaper. They won't have to even have it be dockable, so you can put a little bit less oomph into it and save a little bit of money in the process. And of course, you won't have the detachable Joy-Cons, so you won't have to worry about those, and those will just be hardwired in, so that'll be less money going. You can put in, you can even put in, it doesn't necessarily have to go to complete 720p for the handheld. It can go maybe, 540, in handheld mode it'll probably look just fine. Or maybe they can get to that 720 without all that extra stuff in there, and now they've had a couple years to refine it. Maybe they can get to that a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, I also see another silicone that is different. I'm clicking on it now to see if it'll pop up.
I just thought this was so interesting because of how much we have heard about it and it potentially coming. And it's like, yeah, dude, you've got to think that they're going to do it, that they're going to do,
There's no reason not to.
Well, look at the history of Nintendo and how many revisions of every handheld they've ever had. You can go back all the way to the original Game Boy with the original bricks, with the different colors, with the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Light that never came out over here, and then the color. And then, of course, you have Game Boy Advance. You had the original SP AG101, and then the Mini. And then, of course, you had the original DS and the DS Lite, and then the DSi, the DSi XL, and then the 3DS. Whew, you have 3DS, regular, 3DS XL, 2DS, 2DS XL, or new 2DS, and then you have the new 3DS. There's so many different versions, and they roll them out, intermittently. And it's not like the new 3DS is a major upgrade or anything like that, which is what a lot of people and myself have been thinking about. If they're ever going to do a Switch Pro, it's not going to be a huge step forward, but it's going to give the people, developers, a little bit more oomph to make their games run better on the Switch.
Yeah.
Now I got to see what you sent me. That is what I showed you.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Basically, but that was just a different image.
No, that's the same image that I showed on screen.
I know, but it has the thing. But here is something else that I've seen. I'm going to screenshot this one for you. Is it going to let me say? Oh, yeah, I can't. I can't do that. Well, let me just take a picture of my phone. Well, sorry, guys, you're going to get the backside of my phone.
I'm not going to be able to see that on my screen.
No, but I'm going to send it to you on the Book of Many Faces.
On the Book of Many... Well, I'm just glad that the pictures are loading up on Facebook, because today was the day that the Facebook stood still, and you couldn't get stuff to load on there for the life of you.
Yeah, you're right.
People are losing their minds.
All right, it's sending.
Okay.
It looks something dubbed, but yeah, I mean, it looks like a lot of stuff's coming out with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's kind of the way I see it being, really. Just a kind of slightly smaller, because it looks like the image that I have up right now on the live stream, it looks like a condensed Switch.
Yeah. The one I just sent you literally mimics that exact same picture. Mm-hmm. And it's just somebody mocked up the shape.
Yep.
Made it all blue, and then stuck the buttons on it where they would be on this. And it looks like it'll work. I mean, Nintendo's notorious about not saying a word. They've kept saying, we're not going to announce new hardware this year. We're not going to announce new hardware this year. But that doesn't mean that we're not working on it.
Exactly.
because, as you said, look at all the iterations of the DS family. Let's just say the DS family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and a lot of people are buying it for the mobility.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Anywho,
one last item of news, unless there was something else to add to the Switch.
Nope.
Rockstar rumors about games in development. Are you ready for this one?
Go.
So first of all, apparently Bully 2 is in fact in development.
Is that a official?
It's rumor. These are rumors. Both of these things are rumors, so you got to carry them with a grain of salt.
In fact, in development. So,
well,
no facts here, people.
No
These
facts.
are rumors.
Sorry.
All of them.
Sorry. That's my bad. My bad.
When you said that, I'm like, wait, what? You changed your tone here.
Okay, so the rumors have been flowing for a while about this.
Yes, they have. They really have.
And apparently, according to a user over on Reddit, wink.
Yeah.
The players will once again be playing as the main protagonist, Jimmy Hopkins, who has traded in his life at boarding school for the college freshman experience. As you well know, this mostly lines up with previous leaks and rumors about the game, which I did not know. That said, off the bat, there seems to be a hole in this. Back in March, the voice actor of Jimmy, Jerry Rosenthal, claimed that while he would love to make a sequel, Rockstar Games hasn't contacted him about the project. Now, he could be fibbing, or they could have gotten a brand new actor for him altogether, which is probably more likely. That I tell you what, though, making a Bully 2 in college would, like, it's going to make this game a lot, like, not that the content isn't mature, but like when you would play the original Bully, it was more subdued than a Grand Theft Auto. You couldn't kill anybody, for example.
Right.
You could beat them up. You can explode fireworks and shoot them with potato launchers and do all this stuff, but you couldn't kill anybody. And then if you hit a female, you got an instant wanted, and they were chasing you down big time. So in college, it would definitely take the mature level up a little bit for probably drinking, and that's definitely going to get some attention from from folks. But I mean, none of that is not uncommon for college campuses. And like you're gonna exaggerate it, but you're not gonna be showing anything that it wouldn't happen. That's kind of my thought on it, is like to actually replicate that experience in a game.
It depends on how far you go, because if alcohol is involved, you can guarantee that there is going to be the feminists are going to be all over the alcohol-induced rape.
Well,
which, I mean,
now here's the thing. Just like in Red Dead, where they gave Arthur and John, both of them in both games, they're prostitutes in the game. You cannot sleep with them. You can get prostitutes in GTA all day long, dude, and they are now, it's pretty graphic. You can see bumping and grinding. You can see all sorts of stuff. You can see, nipples in Grand Theft Auto 5 now. And they have scar tissue from breast enhancement surgery. It's nuts how detailed it is. But there's they gave Arthur and John reasons not to sleep with prostitutes in the Old West. Narratively.
Okay, and that's fine, but you're talking about the college experience. I mean,
stay with me, Jimbo. When you're making the game, you have the freedom to be able to do whatever you want, and you can limit anything that you want. So if Jimmy, the main character, is a freshman coming in, all you've got to say is he's not into that, and make the character because it's a narrative choice, and you're not necessarily making choices. You're playing through the game. There are certain things where you can make choices. Just it's like a controlled choice environment. So if the character himself is making the stands where he will not drink, he will not be involved with that kind of activity, he's going to make a stand, and he's not going to be able to do it no matter how much you want him to.
Right, but you're also not allowing the player to do the full college experience.
Well, then, I mean, therein lies.
That's my opinion. I mean, I'm not. Trust me, I am not going against alcohol-induced sexual activities in any way, shape, or form. All consenting. Period. But
therein lies, therein lies the line.
That's the barrier. That's the barrier you have.
They put that invisible line, and like, our character does not cross this line. And then if
Right.
people, and then if the people who are bitching about not being able to do that, that really says more about those people than it does about the people who made that game.
Right, but I see both sides. Like, you want to have the freedom to do whatever you want, but there are lines that should not be crossed. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But in video games, that is kind of the hitch, is the fact to do things that you would not normally do in real life. And get away with it, I guess. And like I said, in any way, shape, or form of I saying that these are good things, I'm just saying what the community might say. I personally, my character, I would not go into the full taking advantage of somebody. I mean, I've never done that in real life. So, just saying, I get it. I get both sides. But it's one of those touchy-feelies. Like, you do college, I think they should stick to high school. Because high school, there's a fine line. At high school, this stuff doesn't really happen. You can make it to where, underage drinking is a thing, and then he's just like, no, I won't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
But with college, drinking is a major thing.
And especially, and then, of course, underage drinking is part of that.
That's a larger thing there. So I'm just saying, I hope they don't.
Same.
Because if they do go that route, there's literally going to be a nuclear bomb go off from everyone.
But that wouldn't be the first time that Rockstar has found themselves in the midst of controversy. They're no strangers to it. But there's another rumor from a Rockstar game that has surfaced over on Reddit for Grand Theft Auto 6.
I keep seeing and hearing stuff about that. Of cars being made, people working on the vehicles for it.
So right now, Reddit is claiming all sorts of things, some of which line up with previous reports and rumors, and some of it's brand new. Most importantly, the rumor claims that the next game is next-gen only, meaning PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. That doesn't surprise me one bit.
No, that doesn't surprise me at all.
They're in no hurry. Furthermore, the rumor says the game has been in some sort of a development since 2012, which is about a year before 5 came out, which that also doesn't surprise me one bit. You would think that there would be a small pocket of guys that are starting to work on the next thing, and I have heard that there are some issues going on along with this taking place in possibly different time periods. But I'll go ahead and continue. Even though the game has been in development since 2012, the proper production didn't begin until 2015 under the codename Project Americas. And now that Red Dead Redemption 2 has shipped, it is in complete full production. Like, they are boom, 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 while probably another division, another development team within Rockstar, not Rockstar North or any one of the major ones, are developing Bully. The main team, the main guys are working on GTA 6. And I completely believe that 100%.
Yeah.
There's also mention that the game's setting, Vice City. But that's not all. It's also claiming that it's also set in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with some missions taking place in Liberty City. Again, this loosely lines up with what previous leaks and rumors have said. The leaker also mentions that Cuba may be in the game, but that's less concrete. Unlike GTA 5, there's only going to be one playable protagonist, which the rumor alleges will be male and not female, like previous rumors have dictated. And it also won't be set in modern times, but will take place in the 70s and 80s. And won't be as committed to realism as Red Dead Redemption 2. What I think that probably means is like how much you have to go about your keeping up your appearance or washing your car, like you wash the horse. Quote, you play as an up-and-coming drug lord wannabe named Ricardo, and another key character called Casey, is part of the narrative. You start off as a grunt doing runs of cocaine smuggler from Vice City to the new large South American area before making connections with big-time drug lords and making your way up. Again, this loosely lines up with what has been said about the game, but in various reports, which have all been claimed by multiple sites, interestingly, a new detail from the rumor says to be a giant prison will come into place. What's up, Duderino? Hey, hold up. What's up, dude? Oh, hey. We're here for the weekly Wyatt wrap-up.
Did you go to the movie theater? I was like, I need headphones.
Well, these headphones go in your ear. I don't have the ones that go on the outside. So I'm not going to put these in your ear. But old Mike can hear you. And yes, me and old Mike did go to the movie theater.
Now you rest it.
What did we see?
Hi, Wyatt.
We see.
What? Oh no! What did me and old Mike see at the movie theater? Do you
What
remember?
we see?
You guys went to see Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, we did go see Spider-Man.
And me and Mama and Daddy go to see Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, it was Lego Movie 2. We went to go see Lego Movie 2 about a week ago.
No.
Did you like the theater?
I like the theater.
That's cool.
Avengers.
You see my poster?
Those are posters.
Yeah.
That one's all the Avengers. That one's Spider-Man. And that one's Batman.
Well, he knows his
Batman.
superheroes.
But that's Spotify and that's YouTube.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Hey, what's this one over here? Do you see this one? What's that say? Do you see that poster over there?
What's that one? That's
What
a
is it?
poster.
I don't know. What is it?
It's a light.
Well, yeah, that's a light, but can you see what that is over there?
What's that over there?
Is that okay? You don't, because you know the logo.
That's a TV. That's a TV.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Are you about ready to go to
TV.
Are you about ready to go night?
No, I just want to still talk. What are we doing for the
For the podcast?
Yeah, but that's an R and the star and colors.
An artist star and colors. Yeah, that's the Rockstar logo. So, can you say to everybody, thank you for downloading this podcast?
Thanks for learning up this podcast.
Can you
Lining
say
up this pod.
thanks for listening on Spotify?
Thanks for listening on Spotify.
Can you say thank you for watching on YouTube?
Thanks for watching on YouTube.
Can you say thank you for listening on iHeartRadio?
Thanks for listening to the Heart Radio. For me
And
to
on-
the Heart Radio.
And on Apple Podcasts.
And an Apple Podcast.
Do you know the game? Do you know the name of Daddy's podcast?
What?
The Game Addicts Podcast. Can you
Yeah.
say it?
I know it is. It's a controller and letters.
It's the controller and letters. How observant of you.
Yep. Those are all my games. That's the TV. There's the games behind me.
And that's Mario. And that one's speakers.
Yeah.
And that one's a record player in your game room.
There is a record player in my game room. Well, buddy, I love you.
I love you too.
Are you going to go night-night now?
No.
No. Oh, Mike's
I'm trying
saying,
to get him to wave at me. He's not
can
waving.
you wave at old Mike?
It's
Did you see me the other day?
Did you see him?
Yeah, I did see him do it. But he's at home doing a podcast.
Yep.
Can you do a podcast?
Not falling off ladders at your house.
And let us wait for you to be done.
Well, we're almost done.
Yeah, we are pretty much done.
Yeah, but so if you want to wait up for just maybe about 20 minutes or something, I'll be in there to say goodnight, okay?
And that's a night then.
Can I have a hug and kiss and you go and you wait? Mwah. I love you.
I love you.
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, go watch Hocus Pocus.
I want to. Are we going to watch Pocus Pocus?
Pocus Pocus.
Focus, focus.
Oh, man. I love this kid. He cracks me up. You're ridiculous, Wyatt. I'll say that to him, and he'll go, "You're ridiculous." So, anyways, yeah, apparently for GTA 6, a giant prison will play an important part in the game. Here are some other tidbits that the rumors says about the game. It'll be structured into chapters, kind of like Red Dead. Red Dead was structured into chapters. Weather, such as hurricanes, floods, is a heavy focus. Which, of course, for that area would make sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Buildings and vehicles will change over eras, like 70s to 80s. Apparently, this has been causing issues for the team. I can get that.
Yeah. But it'd be one of the first times that that's ever happened like that.
That'd be awesome.
Which would be a major... Think about like walking into the building and it's like there's a lot of construction going on in the building you already know. And then you come back a couple months later from doing whatever it is you're doing and it's a completely different building.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be cool. It would give you a sense of realism.
Or just the overall look of the vehicles from the 70s, and then to go back to the area later on in another chapter, and it's in the 80s, and the whole look has changed, the whole design of the cars have changed by then. That's neat. There's going to be a full economy that is, quote, next level. Probably GTA 5 has a fully functioning stocks. Like, I think it's called Bossack.
Makes sense. Something Rockstar would cook up.
Oh my god! Mm-hmm. My favorite Rockstarism for GTA is still the athletic wear. Do you remember that?
I don't remember the name of it.
Well, when you go into a clothing store to get shoes, or like you have like Adidas or Nike for their for the athletic wear company, it's called Prolapse. Yeah. And it's spelled like, laps and, pro, like, your athletic pro. But no, when you say it, it means it sounds like something else.
Yeah.
Heavily inspired by Netflix's Narcos series. So that's interesting. 70s and 80s soundtrack. That's pretty much a given. And then a young Martin Madrazo will make an appearance, as will his father, who's a big drug lord at the time. He will do some missions for the family. Drug empire building is an important mechanic that works similar to Vice City stories, but much bigger. You can only have weapons on your person, and body armor now shows up. No virtual backpack. Your equipment will be stored in the trunk of your personal vehicle. So now, just like in Red Dead, where you can only have like one or two things with you at a time, and you have to go back to your saddlebag to get other stuff, you can't just be cycling through all your weapons. You actually have to. That's a touch of realism that people might not like, but I think it's really cool.
The really cool thing about that is it can be modded out if you're a PC or even regular consoles. I mean, we're allowing mods now on regular consoles. It'll get modded out and people won't care anymore.
HIV and immigration crisis of the time will be touched upon. That's, again, makes sense. Fictional Fidel Castro will appear. Game.
I like the way that specifies
fictional.
So
it probably won't be named Fidel Castro. It'll be a new guy who is like a version of Fidel Castro. It's probably the same way for the drug lord family, as spoken above. Game is the primary focus of Rockstar Games, alongside Bully 2, as stated earlier, and is currently in pre-alpha, and no word of a release date. My bet is they are in no hurry to release this game. They are probably they know it's going to be next gen, which that's going to be within the next 10 years. If I had to put like a year on it, I'm going to guess 2022 to 2023 is when we'll see the game.
I'm going to see end of 22 because that will allow them to see what's happening with the performance, get more benchmarks on what's running what, how the PS5 and the Scarlet are running, similar games. I mean, that's what they all do, unless they're wanting to be the new cutting edge. Mm-hmm. And they'll go from there. I think that they'll play their cards right, and I think they'll do great. They usually do. It's Rockstar. I mean, they don't produce a horrible game ever.
All right, so I think they'll get it figured out about the whole era changing thing. But what I would do is that I would have so many chapters set in let's just use 70s and 80s as an example. Say the first 2 or 3 chapters, the pre-chapter 1 and 2 are in the 70s. I would have, ship this out on 2 discs, and 1 disc is just that portion. It's separated into different games that you launch that are based on the same source code, but they don't have to have it evolve over time. And that's probably why it's going to be in chapters too, because that way they can evolve the whole world as a one thing, and then when it goes to the next chapter, time progresses. So then
I have an added thing here. I think what's the most difficult for them, I don't see that being that difficult for them individually. I think the most difficult thing is how do you integrate that into the online play? Because you are not going to be able to change that over unless you do it, you're not even that. So, that might be what's really holding them up. But I think chapters, like you said, chapters are the only way to go if you're going to do something of that likeness.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, you have to evolve the entire world in a time lapse. It's if the fact, say you make 30 visits to one hotel. Let's just say a hotel. Each time it changes in small aspects like construction and stuff. That would be cool, but I don't think that's likely. I think a chapter you're there and then you're going to go back and they'll comment, "Oh wow, look at how nice and modern this is," which is really just a lot of mirrors, because that's what was big in the 70s. Was just mirrors. We just took out all the mirrors. Everything else is back there for years.
Well, and it almost kind of makes sense that if you start in the 70s and you're working your way up, and then by the time that your character is a big flashy millionaire, now the 80s come in and everything's flashy in the 80s. So then thematically, it's really going to go along with the more lights and the more neon and the more bright colors, and the whole Scarface vibe is going to make sense. Like, here's the there's the progression. You started here, everything's run down. Disco era. Colors could be a little bit more murky. And then as you progress, and now you're top dog, you're up here, everything's bright and colorful. It's that classic 80s vibe that you get. And I'm looking forward to it, because 5 really showed me that where they can go for a full rounded game. We've said it here many times, a game that got a lot of things right and nearly nothing wrong. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard to do when you have that many aspects into one game, and now they're going to take that same formula and add to it. You've got me interested. Hell yeah! But that's all I got for news, my friend. That is it.
I got nothing.
Of course,
I said all my bits and pieces.
Yep. And I'm sure that there's more news out there, to talk about. But that's
always more news.
There's always more news, man, and that's what next week is for. Last thing here, the GameStop Days of Summer sale starts this weekend, and you brought this up. So you can find several deals. We'll just talk about this. It's the event begins on July 7th and ends on July 20th. So on pre-owned games, you can get buy 2 get 1. Several games you could pick up, brand new games and all that kind of stuff. Game deals going on. There's a huge list, but some of the bigger games, like Madden NFL 18's $5, NBA 2K18's $5, Just Dance 18, and then you got Call of Duty World War II is 10. Same with Battlefront 2, Star Wars, Assassin's Creed Odyssey's 20, Kingdom Hearts 3, Division 2, those are 20. Fallout 76 is 25. That's not a bad deal. Destiny 2 Forsaken.
It is a bad deal.
Well, see, now you could jump in for $25 and get it on the ground floor before they start adding like actual Fallout stuff into it.
Not 200.
260, my friend.
Yeah, you're right.
So Destiny 2 Forsaken on the PS4 it's $10. Xbox One is 20. Far Cry New Dawn's 20. MLB Show the 19's 40. Our Red Dead Redemption 2 is 40. Days Gone 40. Mortal Kombat 11 is 50. For the deluxe edition, that's an $80 one right there, pal. Anthem, $20.
It should be free. Just come take our copies.
Okay, so what got it more worse, Fallout 76 or Anthem? Without much conversation, just pick one.
I say Anthem.
Anthem got more wrong. Anthem dropped the ball harder.
Really, they're both the same. It's hard to not dive into a conversation with it.
Yeah.
I think that. Really, when you go out, you have to say Anthem because the player base of Anthem has absolutely plummeted due to, and 76's has plummeted, but it's not. There's only 4,000 people online. It's, there's 20, so however many there is. So
we've kind of had this conversation with us, but when you and Tyler from Podcastrophe finally sit down for a podcast, one of these days, make it happen. Talk about that. Measure that. Talk about the pros and cons of, because you're already going to be talking about BioWare near the end of that. Slip in. We had the failure of Anthem. What about the failure of 76? And then, weigh the cons of what they're trying to do to fix it. But we have more games. NBA 2K19, $20. Rage 2, $40. Devil May Cry 5, $40. GTA 5, $20. Borderlands Game of the Year, only at GameStop, $15. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles, $20. Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Missions, $50. And then, of course, you have consoles and accessories. Get a new PS4 1 terabyte system for as low as...
The fact that you changed position tells me everything.
This has got to be a typo. This has got to be a typo.
Share with the class.
Okay, so I assume you'd have to trade something in to get these.
Okay.
Get a brand new PlayStation 4 base system, slim, 1 terabyte, for as low as $25.
Huh?
Or $125 for a PS4 Pro 1 terabyte when you trade. So I'm not sure what they're wanting you to trade in to get those.
Yeah, what are you trading to get that? Like your Xbox One?
Xbox One X?
Yeah.
Why would you trade that? We have more. Receive a free $50 GameStop gift card when you buy a brand new Xbox One S or X console. So you get essentially almost a free game for that.
Here's the thing. To get one of those down to $25, you'd have to literally completely send in your entire gaming collection of 900 games, and we might give you down to 25 because we only give you 7 cents per game.
No, ain't gonna happen, pal.
I know.
But you can get a Starlink starter pack, which is the Star Fox thing.
Mm-hmm.
For Starlink free when you buy a new Nintendo Switch console for $300. You get a GameCube style gold or silver wireless controller for the Switch for $40. 20% off new Xbox
Was
wireless
that an
controllers.
official or is that the... Yeah, they haven't made it official, so that's... What company is that?
It doesn't say what company.
Power
it's
Up?
Maybe Power
Or
Up.
not Power Up.
Power A.
Power A.
Maybe it's that, but 20% off select new Xbox wireless controllers. Turtle Beach 700 premium wireless gaming headset for $120. Hyper xCloud Alpha Pro gaming headset. That's too long of a name. For $85. And then the next segment is toys, collectibles, and apparel. You get purchase 3 pop vinyl figures for $25. Buy one get one 50% off select amiibo. So no Zelda for you. Buy one.
I already got all. The only one I'm missing is the Ocarina of Time Zelda and the new one that is pre-ordered. So obviously I don't have that one because it's pre-ordered and it doesn't come out until Link's Adventure comes out. So remake.
Link's Awakening.
Link is Awakening. My fault. I apologize. Link's Awakening. Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, buy one, get 50% off all action figures, all shirts, only $10. Save $20 when you buy Forza Horizon 4, which is So, which that's $50, and any Thrustmaster Xbox One racing wheel for $90. So you buy those two together and you save $20. 40% off all Kingdom Hearts and Fallout collectibles. 20% off select fan favorite collectibles, including Fortnite, Xbox, Gamer Mickey, Pokemon, and Nintendo. Trade-in offers towards the PS4 Pro. So, to get a PS4 Pro, all right, you get $275 trade credit for any current PlayStation 4 Pro that you currently have. If you want to upgrade to a new console, I don't know why. Like, if you already have one, why you're wanting to get a different one, or if you trade in an Xbox One X, you get that, or if you trade in an iPhone 8. Yeah, but there's more. You get 225 trade credit for a Nintendo Switch, 1 terabyte PS4 Pro or PS4 Slim. I'm sorry, or an iPhone 7 Plus. You get 175 trade credit for a base 500 gigabyte PS4, Xbox One S or iPhone 7, and then you get $125 trade credit for original Xbox One or iPhone 6s.
Oh, well.
And those are only towards a PS4 Pro, according to the article. But please go check that out if that's something you want. If you want to jump on that, you'll get some monies off of it. But that's the last thing I wanted to talk about, because I remember that you said there was a deal. I saw the link. So let's let everybody know. Go out and get some stuff. If you want to go get it, now's the time to go shop at the Devil's Playground itself.
They haven't been bought yet either.
No.
Anyways,
They are. There's a new CEO, and he's working on trying to save the company. We will see. That's all I'll say.
Stop opening games. Stop not selling games and opening them selling them. Because you're the only one that has those games. You know what game I'm talking about. That was shady as...
Metroid Prime Trilogy, Xenoblade Chronicles. You get an exclusive, you open them, say they're used, and then you can sell them for market value, which is about, at one point, was $90, and was just bullshit.
What was the other one? Was it Ocarina of Time? The 3DS? It was a 3DS game.
Okay, so
I was gonna say
that they were selling that for more, but it wasn't just GameStop doing it. They weren't getting new, because the reason why that was so expensive is because there was no more new copies out there.
Right.
That's a different from with
But Xenoblade is the bad one.
Xenoblade and Metroid Prime Trilogy. Both of those were bad because they were the only place that sold them, and they said, "Oh, we're all out." And then they had a whole, stockpile of them, and they would open them and say, because once you open them, then you could say that they're used, and they were opening them and selling them for an extra $30 to pocket that money. And that's eventually those prices went down, and they couldn't do it. But like for the Zelda thing, it was just a matter of supply from Nintendo. Like they hadn't yet re-released Ocarina and a Fan Selects for $20, and with Majora's Mask coming out, that price, the demand for Ocarina went up so much it was like $75, and I'm like, glad I bought it when I did. Now it's back down. You can get them, you can find them. It's no big deal, but it is what it is, man. That's all I got for this week, dude. How about you?
That's all I got.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for episode 128 of the Game Addicts podcast. Hope you had fun with us here today. Of course, you can check us out live each and every single week on Wednesdays, normally, over on twitch.tv/GameAddictsPlay. And now we're also on Mixer. Check us out on Mixer. Find us at Game Addicts Play over on Mixer. We're streaming over there, as well as our Facebook page at Game Addicts Play. And then, of course, our social medias, Twitter and Instagram at Game Addicts Play over there as well. Of course, if you missed the live stream, do not fret. You can download us audio version on the podcast networks all around the world, including places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our gracious hosts over at Podbean. We're now on iHeartRadio. We're now on SoundCloud. Go check us out over there. There's only going to be one episode at a time because I'm not paying extra. You heard that at the beginning of the show. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, all that cool stuff. And last but not least, our YouTube page. We'll be getting some more subscribers over there. Thank you guys so much for subscribing over there on YouTube. You get the video version and audio version of this podcast, plus any gaming stuff that we do for live stream gaming, which will be coming soon. I'm going to try to find some time to stream within the next...
I did not buy my switcher for the Mario. That was my fault. I got behind in, picked up a new car, and there's been a lot going on, breaking my ankle and stuff,
I might actually try to stream something tomorrow. I don't know what's what. Also, it's very difficult for me to now say the word tomorrow, thanks to my son Wyatt.
Tomorrow?
He says tomorrow, and I think it's cute because Mario, Super Mario. And then, so when I'm talking to him, I just say tomorrow to him. I should keep trying to say tomorrow to correct that, but it's now in my head tomorrow, and it's to the point where I say it to my wife. What are we doing tomorrow? We've now taken some of his words into our own vocabulary, and it's funny. But no, tomorrow on the 4th of July, I might actually try to sit back here in the blazing heat back here for a while and stream. I don't know what. I've wanted to do Mass Effect. I want to do that for a while. I'm set up to go for that. Maybe Resident Evil. I set up stuff for that as well. I don't know. Maybe I'll flip a coin. Maybe I'll restart the original FF7 back here and do that. I don't know. But whatever I do start, I want to finish. So that's my next, I'm not going to start it and not finish it. Like a couple other ones, I started FF7, but then my PS4 died. Hey, we had to fix it. And
which we did fix it.
We did. It works.
Does it still sound like a jet engine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, but at least now it powers on.
Yeah.
But with this microphone, you don't really hear it because you got to be right here to really do
in
that.
The bubble.
But if I was using this old bastard right here, I mean, this thing picks up a mouse fart. So anyway,
that it does.
Guys, thank you so much for downloading, listening to this episode, watching it. However you do, please give us a subscribe, a follow, a like, a comment, email us, whatever you want to do. Get in touch with us, man. We want to hear from all of you, and we thank you so much for following along. Until next time, I've been Brando.
I've been Mike.
We'll see you then, guys. Game on.